Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and a lot of you have been blowing up my inbox to my messages on my website and on YouTube. You really want to see a comparison between the 2018 Focus ST and a 2018 ST, but what you requested is you wanted it to be at the same price point. Well, guess what? I'm back here at Walker Ford. They have stepped up to the plate again, and I have a 2018 Focus ST. It's an ST1, so that is the base model. That is where you're coming in at around an MSRP of $25,000. And then I also have this 2018 Ford Fiesta ST that has some options added in to bring it to that same price point of around an MSRP of $25,000. So as you might be aware or might not, these cars, this is it, guys. If you are interested in a Fiesta ST or a Focus ST, Ford has decided to stop making production vehicles, cars for everybody. They are going to have the Mustang, and they're going to have a Focus crossover vehicle, and then of course their whole lineup of SUVs, pickup trucks, and whatnot. So this is it. If you want it, this is a great time to get that final additions of these cars. Now, I don't know if many of you are aware, I grew up in an Italian family. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I fought a lot with my siblings. This really is a sibling rivalry because both of these cars bring such a unique driving experience that it's something that you really need to get down to either Walker Ford or your local Ford dealership to experience it for yourself. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to you to decide which direction you want to go in. But what we're going to start off with this 2018 Fiesta ST. You can see it's finished in this beautiful orange color. I really like the front end of the Fiesta ST. I like the way it comes standard with the fog lights down here. I like the headlight lenses, and there's that traditional ST grille. Now, ST, what does that mean? A lot of people have questions about that. It actually stands for Sports Technologies. That's what that branch of Ford Performance is doing to take a standard Fiesta and give it some extra power, some extra trickery that Ford has learned over the years. Underneath this hood is a 1.6 liter EcoBoost engine. It's putting out right under 200 horsepower, about 202 foot-pounds of torque. We'll be showing you that very shortly. But you can see the front grille area. This is intercooled, and I just really like the hexagonal grille. Gives it a very clean look, and I'm very happy with that. Now, if you are one of my viewers from, say, England, you guys have your 2018 Fiesta ST is the all-new redesign. Here in the United States, we are not getting that redesigned 3-cylinder Fiesta ST, which has a lot of cool features like launch control, driving dynamics, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's kind of a shame that not only are these cars disappearing from the US landscape, but we're not even getting the last of the updated ones. Come around the side. Now, this one has the optional black, where they paint the wheels a nice gloss black. These are 17-inch wheels with the red brake calipers. This is a $300 option. I say go for it. I like the wheels in black, especially with this color, and it's really just nice to have a little bit of color contrast between the brake calipers and the wheels. None of this is for performance per se, but it does give you a nice little interesting look, and you can see we're running a 205 40 series tires, 17, so that's going to be your diameter. And these tires are really good. They're Bridgestone Potenzas. Remember, this car, it's going to weigh in at around 2,700 pounds. A lot of tossable fun in a very nice, tidy package with that 1.6 liter EcoBoost. But I really like the wheels, especially, like I said, with this color. Now, you can see the greenhouse of your typical Fiesta. I like the way that they have the color-matched mirrors, and the way that the body lines. One body line that I think is my favorite right here is I like this little V that's in the front fender, and then it follows. Part of it follows all the way down the side to the back. It really gives it a very aggressive look. Another thing that is Fiesta ST specific are these lower sills. So these are lower sills that are going to give you a little bit different airflow compared to a Fiesta, and I think it gives it a little bit more masculine look. I know Tom and I were having a little discussion about these sills. He's not really a big fan of it, but I do like the look of it, and it's something that makes it distinctive from a regular Fiesta ST. Fiesta. Now, out back, I really like the spoiler that they put, not too high. It is functional. I always like, it's very similar, you'll see, to the Focus ST, where it's got this split in it. Very cool looking spoiler, nothing too gaudy, but it is purposeful. And then out back, I think that Ford hit the nail on the head. And you'll see when we look at the Focus ST, I like the back end of this car better than the Focus ST. I do like this lower painted diffuser area down here, and I just like the rear bumper cover. It just has a very aggressive look from the back of the car. You can see we have the twin sport exhaust coming out the back, and this thing does have a little bit of a nice sweet sounding note, even though it has a stock exhaust system. But this is the younger of the two siblings. Let's go check out the Focus ST over there and see what's going on with that. All right, guys, so here is the bigger brother. This is the 2018 Focus ST. This is the ST1. So like I said, there's 3 packages. ST1, you're not getting Recaros, you're not getting leather interior or navigation. You got to work your way up to that. You'll see when we get to the Fiesta ST, that one has Recaros, and like I said, it's coming in at the same price point. But let's go ahead and take a look at this 2018 Focus ST. Same story. I like how Ford has mimicked the grille from the Fiesta onto the Focus and so forth. I like the hexagonal shape. I do like the shape of the headlights, just like on the Fiesta ST, and you can see standard as well. You're gonna get those fog lamps down there, which is good when you're driving down the road and it's dark out. It gives you that extra visibility, or if it's foggy, hence the name fog lights. But anyways, you can see that this one also has a front mount intercooler. Underneath the hood of this is gonna be a 2-liter EcoBoost. Now remember, when we say EcoBoost, with both of these cars, that means you got a turbocharger there, and it's intercooled. This one is putting out 252 horsepower, and it weighs about 3,200 pounds. So that's where we're gonna see the comparison, because in a straight line, this will beat the Fiesta ST. This does 0 to 60 in about 5.9 seconds, whereas the Fiesta ST does 0 to 60 in about 6.7 seconds. Top speed, 153 miles an hour. Top speed 144 miles an hour. But where you're really going to get bang for your buck is on that tight, nimble road or autocross or road course that you're on, because this thing is lighter. The Fiesta is lighter. This is a little bit heavier. And then, of course, if you compare this to my RS, this is lighter than my RS, because my RS comes in around 3,500 pounds. So these are things you got to think about what you want performance-wise. But I do like how the front mimics that whole Ford performance with both of these vehicles. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side. As you can see, this one, I do like the way the black and the silver, I like the silver on these wheels. They call this the snowflake wheel. The reason why is because of the shape of it. This is an 18-inch wheel. So right off the bat, you're getting a little bit more wheel. What that's going to do is it's going to fill in that space a little bit more. You can see that they're running Eagle F1 tires, so they're using a tire that's going to give you some grip, but it's going to give you that durability. Now this you can pay, just like with the Fiesta ST, you can get the wheel, a totally different wheel, and the calipers black. That's what my wife has on her Focus ST. But like I said, we're trying to keep it close to that price point. But I still like the style of the wheel. Same thing. Really good greenhouse on the Focus ST. You're going to get those painted mirrors. You're going to get the painted door handles. Those are things that, you know, some other manufacturers on their base models, they don't come that way. It just becomes like a hard black plastic. As you can see, very nice sloping line. I do like this rear quarter window that they put in the Focus ST. And what's really cool is they put this little sticker here, if Tom could show you, where it's assembled right in Michigan. So kind of cool, gives you that pride, made in the USA and all that good stuff. Same story up top when it comes to the rear spoiler. I like this spoiler a little bit better because it is just a tad higher on this back part, but I like the way it's a dual plane where you have this portion here and then the rear portion, which is a little bit higher, functional of course, and then out back, like I said, I think I like the Fiesta a little bit more, but one thing I do like about the ST is I like the center exhaust. This thing, there's not another car on the road where you're going to confuse the back end of this car with that exhaust, whether it's a Focus RS, a Subaru, doesn't matter, even the Subaru hatchbacks, that exhaust is very specific, and there is our ST logo in black, red. It really bounces out with the black of the car. Very well done. You've seen the outsides. Let's go ahead and check underneath the hoods of these two siblings to see what they're bringing to the table. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of the 2018 Ford Fiesta St. Like I said, this is going to be a 1.6 liter EcoBoost. EcoBoost in Ford language means that it's got a turbocharger. EcoBoost engine, it's putting out about 197 horsepower, 202 foot-pounds of torque. That's going to give you a 0 to 60 in about 6.7, 6.8 seconds, quarter mile in about 15, top speed of around 144 miles an hour. But the great thing is you're going to get really, really excellent gas mileage out of this car. You're going to be getting, driving around, depending on your lead foot, anywhere between 26 in the city and 33 on the highway. So you can see just how this is going to give you performance, but it's also going to give you that usability every day. And that's the great thing about both of these cars, is that usability every day with the performance. But I do like the way Ford added the ST logo here on the plastic engine cover, and everything is just properly placed. There's not a lot of room underneath this hood because it is a smaller car, but you can see how everything is just properly placed. And you know, it's one of those things that Ford takes into consideration how they're running all of their brake lines and coolant lines and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead, since we've seen this one, let's go check underneath the hood of that Focus ST. Here we are underneath the 2018 Focus ST. This is going to be a 2 liter, so we're going up a little bit larger in displacement. Still an inline Ford turbocharged engine, that EcoBoost engine. This is putting out about 252 horsepower. So you're going to expect to see a top speed of around 153 miles an hour. You're also going to see 0 to 60, depending on how good of a driver you are, about 5.7, 5.8 seconds, 0 to 60, and a quarter mile in that 14-second bracket. Same story. I do like the way they have the ST logo on the engine cover. A little bit of contrast with the gray here. These cars, you're looking at miles per gallon, you're going to get about 23 in the city, so not as good as the Fiesta, but you are having a little bit of a larger car. Both of these are matted to a wonderful slick shifting 6-speed manual transmission, and that's the only way that they come. So hopefully you do know how to drive manual if you're looking at either of these. Let's go ahead and see what these cars sound like. All right, guys, here I am inside this 2018 Ford Fiesta St. You can see door panel wise, I do like the materials. They are the harder plastic, but you know what? If you look around where the door handle is and stuff, it's like got a different texture to it, and I like that because it makes it look a little bit more high-end. I do like the silver, the bright silver door open handle there. Gives it a nice high-end finish on it. But remember, this is a Fiesta at the end of the day, so some of the things may not be up to, say, like a Mercedes-Benz level, but that's not what we're comparing here. Here is what we got, though. This one has the optional Recaro seats. I love these seats. I love how they're leather, and they're leather in all the important parts. The part that's going to take the wear when you're getting in and out, and then you have this nice grippy cloth material, because that's the one thing I noticed on my wife's Focus ST with the full Recaros. There is a little bit of sliding because the seat is holding you in, but since they're all leather, you kind of move around a little bit. But I love the shape of these. I do like the color. The color is working for me. In this Fiesta ST, these seats are screaming nothing but fun, good handling, sportiness, performance. I really, really like it. I like the way the Recaro, I don't know if Tom could show you the Recaro embroidery with the contrast shift stitching, and I also like the embroidery with the ST logo there. Very, very nicely done. I do like the seating position. Now, these seats are a little on the tight side if you're not used to it, but that's what they're for. They're there to hold you. When you're going down that twisty road or autocross, they're going to hold you in. I'm 6 feet, 200 pounds. I like the way they feel. They do tilt you a little bit back, but that's how it's going to hold you from sliding you forward. Remember, if the seat is flat, you're going to slide forward every time you jam on those brakes doing your track day or whatnot. I like the material on the dash. It's a nice softer material, and it's got a texture to it which makes it look cool. I like the silver around the AC trim rings, and this one I do like the sound system in this. This has the upgraded MySync Sony system. It cuts down on a lot of buttons, and you have a larger screen here. And you'll see, compared to the Focus ST, this screen is larger. One thing I'm not a big fan of is this little AC section here. I don't like the way these buttons are arranged. I wish they would have done something a little different, because guess what? They put a cubby here, and I don't know what you could possibly fit in there, because it's too big, it's too small for a phone, and it's right in front of the shifter. Speaking of the shifter though, very, very nice short throws, very crisp, nice 6-speed. I love the knob on this. It's got the leather and the silver with the red on it. Very, very well done. And what's cool is that these seats are heated. So if you live in those colder areas of the country or the world, these are going to help keep you warm. Very, very nice touches with the cup holders. Everything is really where it needs to be. Push button start. Let's go ahead and take a look at behind the steering wheel, where you're going to be spending all the time. Let's check it out. All right, guys, here is the time where you're going to be sitting, spending all that time is behind this wheel. I love the steering wheel in this Fiesta St. Nice round wheel. I like the stitching here. I do like the size of it. It feels just a tad larger than the wheel in the Focus ST and the Focus RS. I like the silver trim here, and there's that wonderful ST badge. One thing that I'm not really a big fan of either of the cars is I feel like they should have done something a little bit more with the gauges. They kind of look a little cheap with the font. I do like the silver around the housings, but I would like to see something different with the font and the colors of those gauges. Plus, there's no actual coolant temp gauge, which, if this is an ST sports technology meant to go out on the track, you gotta at least have a coolant gauge, if not more, like oil pressure, oil temp, and all that kind of stuff. But everything is properly placed, and one thing I like about this car is that the room is used wisely. There's not a lot of room, but I feel like there is, because everything is placed really, really well. And I even like what Ford does with putting the ST logo down on the silver trim on the sill panel down here. Just a very, very nice touch. Let's go check out the back seat in this Fiesta St. All right, guys, here I am in the back of the Fiesta St. I wanted to do this specifically since we're comparing the two cars. Remember, this car is not a compact car. It's a subcompact. That's a totally different segment. So it is going to be tighter in this back seat, but I wanted to show you 6 feet, 200 pounds. I do have actually some knee room here. What's nice is in the Recaros, I don't know if Tom could show you, but in the Recaros, they actually have this cutout section here to give you a few more inches of knee space. And I happen to have larger knees on top of that, but it is comfortable. I wouldn't want to do like a 300-mile trip to Daytona or something like that. This would be better off for young kids or somebody like that. But there is plenty of headroom. I'm not sitting off hunched over. This is me with my head up, and I still have some space there, so that's the great news. And the seat is comfortable. There is no armrest back here, but that's to be expected. And then you do have a 12-volt outlet in here, and one cup holder. So one person, you're going to have to argue over who's bringing the drink. It's going to have to be a small drink, so no super big gulps in the back seat. But I guess that's a good thing, because if you had a kid back here and you gave them a super big gulp, that means they're going to make a super-sized mess if they drop it. With a smaller cup holder, it's got to be the small kiddie size. Let's go check out the Focus ST. 2018 Focus ST, and you know what? This is a familiar place for me. I have an RS. My wife also has an ST. I do like on the door panels, what they did is they added that silver on the door pull and also on the door handle. That gives it a little bit higher end touch. I don't like that cloth fabric on the door panel. I wish they would have went with a little bit of leather just where your elbow rests, because it's kind of got a funky texture to it. I do like the dash material, very soft plastic here. It's something that has a nice texture. Now you're going to have to come and sit in this car here at Walker Ford or your Ford dealer near you, because some people either love or hate how this dash comes out. I like it. It makes it feel like a sportier car than just some open hatchback design. So I do like that. I love the seats though. These aren't Recaros. These are just the ST1 seats, but I do like the way they're black with the nice grippy gray, and I like the contrast stitching. And on the back of the seat is that beautiful red ST logo, which you're also going to find on the lower sill panel as well. So very, very nice touches to give it a little bit more high-end appearance to it. Check out though this infotainment section. This is one place where, because it's an ST1, it is harder plastic, and this has got to be probably one of the smallest infotainment screens I've ever seen in my life. If you put it into reverse, check out how small that screen is. So you're really going to have to be careful when backing out, but the buttons are easily legible, and you know, when it comes to like finding your radio station and all that, it does not have dual climate control, but it has a similar looking system. One thing that does bother me, sometimes if you're not paying attention, your hand can hit the AC when you're shifting. You just got to be a little bit cognizant of that. I do love the shifter though. This shifter is one of my favorite slick shifting shifters I've ever used. It really falls into each gear perfectly. I do like the silver trim. I like the silver on the shift knob and the nice leather boot that they use. You do have a nice cubby here. This is larger than the cubby in the Fiesta St, so you could put an iPhone or an Android phone very easily, and you have USB connectivity. Nice cup holders, and then to wrap it off, this really nice center armrest that has leather, and you have USB and also a 12 volt in here. Let's see what it's like to sit behind the wheel. Come check it out. All right guys, so here is behind the wheel of the Focus ST. I do like the shape of the steering wheel. It's a flat bottom wheel. It's got the silver trim and that red ST logo. I wish the wheel was just a little bit thicker. That's probably one of my complaints. It's just a little bit thicker, but I like the layout of the controls. I do like the layout of the gauges, but same story as the Fiesta St. I wish they would have went with a different font in the background. This one has a larger info screen there that's LED, which is a nice touch. And this one also has your coolant gauge, whereas the Fiesta St does not have a coolant gauge. But you can see, very, very nice with the shifting. I don't know if Tom could show you, both cars come with aluminum pedals for both clutch, brake, and gas. So very, very nicely placed. Heel toe downshifting is a little bit tricky in these cars, but with a spacer or practice, you can get it solved and no problem. But I'm done talking about how great these cars are sitting here. Let's go take them for a spin. All right, guys, we're inside. We're going to start off with the 2018 Fiesta St. Look who's back. Tom Moschner, my camera guy. He's going to help give some feedback of what it's like to be on that passenger side, and obviously I'm going to give you the feedback from the driver's side. So we're rolling out of Walker Ford. I love the 6-speed. Clutch pickup is very, very light, very easy to modulate. What do you think, Tom? Are you comfy over there? I know you're a little bit wider than most.
It's very comfortable. I love the Recaro seats again.
Too tight?
No, they're very comfortable. Top and bottom, right? The backs and the bottom are Recaro.
Full Recaro.
Some cars aren't.
Yeah, some brands do not. They just do a Recaro back and a standard stock bottom. So what's nice is with the Fiesta St, you are getting those optional seats if that's what you go with. Because remember, we're trying to keep that at that price point where we're similar to the Focus ST ST1. All right, so I'm going to make a quick U-turn here. Try to beat out some of this traffic. Second gear. You know, when it comes to torque steer, it really isn't too bad. And it pulls all the way up to that red line. Not too bad.
Oh, hopefully you can hear that.
Yeah, I know. I think with the
nice
GoPro,
hum.
I think it sounds, and it's not too obnoxious. It's not going to drone and give you a headache. It's got a nice sound to it. But it's smooth. The way that the boost kicks in, it's very linear. It's not where it just hits you like a ton of bricks at 6,000 RPM. You don't have to wait for it. Very nice. All right, so we're heading back to Walker Ford. I'm gonna go ahead and just give you another acceleration test. First gear. The torque steer, I'm telling you, it's really, you don't feel it. All the way up to red line. All right, guys, we're rolling out of Walker Ford and we're inside the 2018 Focus ST. For me, this is a very natural place because my wife owns an ST and I also own an RS. Tom, how do you feel over there for passenger?
I love Recaro seats, but this one is a little bit more wider, so it's a little more,
definitely,
more comfortable for me.
Definitely more comfortable for
long distance,
both the passenger and the driver. I wish the bottom seat, maybe the portion of the seat came out a little bit further because I have longer legs. I think that might just help for being comfortable over a longer drive. But the way that Ford has everything laid out in the Focus ST,
like I said, some people don't really like maybe how the dash kind of comes out, but for the driver, everything is very easily reachable and really seems to be in the right place.
Touch.
Here's where I was talking about passing people. It does have that extra power. Brakes are very stable. The car, you don't feel like a lot of weight transfer, which is good, but just enough. They're not grabby, and that's what you don't want. You don't want brakes that are going to just snatch the wheel from your hand. It's a very, very good modular transition.
All right, guys, it's been one hell of a day here at Walker Ford. You can see that both of these are two really hot hatches. If you are in the market for one of these, I highly advise to get down to either Walker Ford or your local Ford dealership, because these cars are going to be just a memory. Because remember, as Ford shifts into 2019, they're going to cut out their sedan vehicles, their passenger vehicles. They're only going to have the Mustang, and they're going to have a Focus crossover vehicle. At the end of the day, both of them pack a little bit of a punch, and that's the thing that's fun about these cars, is that big things do really come in small packages. You could go with the Fiesta St, have that EcoBoost 1.6 liter. You could go with the Focus ST, have that 2-liter EcoBoost motor, both turbocharged. Tons of fun, and the great thing is you're going to get the usability, the drivability of every single day, and have a car that puts a big smile on your face and carries stuff in the back. But anyways, I want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Tracy, Benji, and everybody here at Walker Ford. They really are so accommodating. Raity's Rides is really part of the Walker Ford family, and I'm very grateful for that, and expect more. I know a lot of you want to see that Bullet Mustang. You want to see that new Ford Ranger coming out, and down the road, that Ford Bronco. Guess what? Walker Ford is going to step up to the plate, I promise you, and we're going to bring all those to you. If you have not hit subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? I double dog dare you. Hit the subscribe button now. I have a nice variety of all different things for all different car enthusiasts, whether you like the classics, muscle cars, the new stuff, trucks, whatever. If you have subscribed and you've been on this journey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being there from the beginning. I don't know where it's going, but guess what, guys? It's going one way, and that's one way up. And I'm very grateful for all that. Also, if you have not checked out my website, raitiesrides.com, Instagram, and Twitter, all Raity's Rides original content all the time. Check those out. I want to give a huge thank you to Tom Moschner, the best cameraman on YouTube. I appreciate you guys commenting and letting him know he's doing a great job. If there's anything that you want to see, put it in that comment section. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.